Bernard here with the latest in Bernard's film and TV channel. Hope you're all very well and please all staying safe. Right, today we've got a Netflix series, 8 episodes, which is quite interesting. I did look forward to this when I saw the initial synopsis on it. It did look quite entertaining, and it's called Ratched. Ratched. Please, if you're new to the channel, push the subscribe button, push the bell notifications so you know when these vlogs are coming out. I do TV, drama reviews like this one, movie reviews, information vlogs, and even the odd quiz as well. So please check the playlist if you get a chance. And if you like what you see, please, it's lovely to have viewers, but if you can leave me a thumbs up, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Only takes you a split second, doesn't it? Thank you very much. Yeah, so we're going over to Netflix. Good old Netflix. Do you prefer Netflix or Amazon? That's an interesting question. Let me know in the comments. I mean, I possibly prefer Netflix, although there's not much in between. I have a personal grudge against Amazon for certain reasons, yeah, so I do lean towards Netflix. I believe the overall quality is a lot better on Netflix, obviously, than what you get on Amazon Prime, but there you go. They're out there, aren't they? So we get to watch them, whatever happens. Yeah, Ratched, a psychological thriller. 8 episodes. They sort of vary in time. There's no sort of worried about cutting things out, is there, in these things? It's not straight, but you know, in the old days, these episodes had to be like between, you know, spot on to 42 minutes and like 40 seconds or something like that, based from the USA, of course. Obviously, the British ones have always been a little bit longer, generally, apart from the commercial ones now. Well, this one, you can get an episode that's 42 minutes long, you can get an episode that's an hour long, so it does vary, which is very, very odd, but that's how it is. And as we look through season 1, obviously it's US based, I'll say season as opposed to series, although we can say either, can't we? There's no law against it. There is a season 2 been green lighted as well for this, which by the end of season 1, yeah, I'll give it away a little bit. I'm glad there's a season 2 because I want to see how things carry on. We have an origin story here with this one, not a superhero origin story really in this one. We got it's about the character of the same name, Nurse Ratched, from Ken Casey's 1962 novel One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and of course the fantastic, wonderful film. I'll have to do a quiz on that one day, won't I? This little series, as I say, it's supposed to be an origin story. I mean, it's dubious whether, obviously, they've taken certain licenses and certain liberties with it, and poetic license, etc. But it's been created by Evan Romansky and developed by Ryan Murphy himself. The series stars Sarah Paulson in the title role, obviously, as Nurse Ratched. I always thought, when I first looked at it, I thought it was Ratched. I forgot it was Ratched. I forgot all about One Flew Over a Cuckoo's Nest. And it serves, yeah, as a prequel to the novel. Also stars Finn Wittrock as Edmund Tolleson, Cynthia Nixon as Gwendolyn Briggs, John Briones as Dr. Richard Hanover, Charlie Carver as Huck Finnegan, Judy Davis as Nurse Betsy Bucket, not Bouquet, if you're in the UK you'll know what I'm on about, but Bucket, B-U-C-K-E-T, and Sharon Stone as Lenore Osgood. It's good to see Sharon Stone. Is it any good? What's it like? What reviews is it getting? Well, Rotten Tomatoes, not overly impressed. It's getting an overall positivity of 59%, which isn't fantastic. And they go on to say on Rotten Tomatoes, the consensus of the opinion of the critics, Ratched is undeniably stylish, but salacious plot holes and cartoonish characterizations undermine its gorgeous production and committed performances. So 59%, you know me, 60% means it's okay, it's watchable. 59%, well, we're almost there, aren't we? But the audience disagreed. Rotten Tomatoes audience, I think there's just under 100 comments, scores left as at the time this went out. But at this time, as I'm recording this, it's got an 83% from the audience. So even though the critics were not overly unanimous in liking of it, the audience do like it. Again, that's backed up by Metacritic. That's the critics site. That's only a 5.1 out of 10 overall, which is pretty naff, to be honest with you. And that's positive 9 reviews, mixed 11 reviews, and 5 negative reviews. And it scores anywhere out of 10 between 0 and 8.3. So just have a quick look at the comments. Kevin Fallon gave it 8 out of 10. These are all various critics from various internet sites or hard copy newspapers or newspaper themselves. Kevin Fallon gave it 8 out of 10 and it went on to say, no creative or narrative decision in the show really makes sense and everything is much more intense than it should be. Yet you can't help but be riveted and swept up. Yeah, I sort of echo those sentiments. There's something almost accidentally spellbinding about it. Yes, that's Mr. Kevin Fallon, he liked it. Lacey Boa, she's sort of halfway in between. She gave it 6 out of 10 and went on to say, not a great show by any stretch, but it does suffer from the same narrative bloat that plagues many of Murphy's other series. There's simply too much going on here for anyone's stories to be fully satisfying. There's something entertainingly bold about its vision, and the Crayola bright world these characters inhabit is a fascinating one. Almost despite itself, Ratched is kind of a mess, yet but can be a compulsory watchable one. So again, even though similar sentiments if you read between the lines there, between that and the Gushing review, wasn't there? And again, I have to quite agree with Lacey. Perhaps someone I don't particularly agree with after watching the full season is Dave Nemetz. He only gave it 2.5 out of 10 and said, Murphy's productions always tend to favour style over substance. Aside from FX's triumphant pose, which finds a beating human heart inside its flamboyant characters, this might be his emptiest effort yet, so not very kind. Yeah, and again with Dave, I probably might have been not agreeing with it, but sort of siding with him a little bit when I saw early episodes of this. Say there's only 8 episodes. It's not a lot. I wouldn't have minded 12 by the end of it. Internet Movie Database. This is where we always go, isn't it? For Joe Public, you and me. What are they thinking? Well, the episodes are scoring anywhere between 8 and 8.5. So there's a lot of love out there. Again, echoing the Rotten Tomatoes audience score for the episodes. Overall, yeah, again, even though it's getting 8 to 8.5 on the episodes, it's getting an overall rating of 7.7 out of 10. That's based on 1,341 reviews as I'm recording this vlog. So a good healthy score, 7.7 out of 10. So the audience again like it. So there's something to be said. And say if you saw those scores before you watched it, you'd think, yeah, well, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to give it a try. Some of the comments though on Internet Movie Database, the comments are quite negative. There's obviously a lot of high scores, but these are some of the comments. And I've picked, I think I picked more negative than positive because that's how the actual written comments pan out. A little bland for my liking. Very enjoyable and keeps you guessing. Didn't meet my expectations. We're not sure what that person's expectations were. Directionless. Too much like American Horror Story. Beautiful to look at. I mean, I'll sort of touch on these things in my little thoughts. Beautiful to look at, yet still unwatchable. Exhausting flood of ideas, but very little substance. Couldn't stop watching. A new masterpiece by Mr. Ryan Murphy. American Horror Story by another name. And uninspired, which is a little bit unkind. And it's odd this, if I'd done a review based on the first couple of episodes, I would have been leaning towards some of those negatives there that I've just commented. I mean, the 8 episodes are superbly shot. Obviously, I think it's California. Beautiful place. And I do like a lot of Ryan Murphy has put out there and what he's been involved in, but this does lack a little bit of oomph and seems to be a bit seamless and mishy-mashy over the first, certainly the first probably 3 or 4 episodes at least. It's only, to me, from episode 5, 6 onwards, it sort of gains a little bit of traction. Acting talent, well, the acting talent is pretty mixed, to be fair. I mean, I think there's Sarah Paulson is, of course, excellent in this, but the other extreme in my, certainly, again, early episode-wise, when everyone seems to be, I'll go on to it a little bit more in a moment, they seem to be sort of comic book characters of the early episodes. Finn Wittrock was very, very poor in my opinion early doors, but he does actually either grow on me or improve as the series goes on. He plays, of course, the killer in this at the start. I'm not giving anything away in the start of the series. Edmund Tolleson, the multiple murderer. And his skills do sort of vary. He looks okay at times and other times. So I don't know how this was shot, but obviously his skills seem to improve as he grows in confidence. Well, some of the characters obviously have been asked, as I think one of the comments there was about cartoonish characters. I think some of the characters are asked to play cartoonish characters, so it does affect the acting as such. At time with accents, etc., and styles is all over the place. But again, as it sorts itself out and it progresses, you lose that sort of first hit of trying to make an impression, obviously, which the director's tried to do when he's doing this. And as it goes along, as you get to know some of the characters, it does improve. I mean, the thing that really put me off, episode 1, within the first 5 or 10 minutes, Edmund Tollison's character supposedly comes into a priest's house. It's a priest's house soaked after a rain shower, and he shakes off non-existent water, which he does. He shakes off on his thing, but you know, he can't. He's absolutely dry as a bone, his leather jacket. So what is shit? I mean, there's absolutely no point. He may as well just come in and not draw attention to it. And he takes off his little cap. He's got a cap, and he's got obviously he's not got a, you know, his hair's quite closely cut, but obviously it's coiffured perfectly, even though he's come out of a rain-soaked night with a soaking wet cap. So not the greatest start, and that sort of did put me off a little bit. Episode 1, I thought, well, if they're not going to get that sort of silly thing right, I mean, what is the point? But hey, you got to stick with these things, haven't you? Especially if you're reviewing them as well. Yeah, comparisons are being made to American Horror Story, which is one of my favourite series of the last few years. And in style and presentation, yeah, it definitely is that style, and obviously you know the style of director. So the storytelling and character development, as at the early episodes, was a bit of a struggle. But again, I say I'm going to be a bit kind on this. I think it might be getting there as you get to know the characters. It's not unwatchable. Someone said it was unwatchable. Is it enough to keep you at least interested? And I say it's so great to look at. You do tend to keep watching and keep hoping for things to get better. And please stick with it, because if you do progress through the episodes, it does get better. You know, because you sort of watch along and you sort of enjoy it, and you think, oh, it's getting a little bit boring. Then there's the occasional payoff in the storyline that puts you back on course. And of course, the 40s style fashions, etc., will go down well with a lot of people. So by the end of it, I did actually look forward to season 2. As I said, 6, 7 and 8 were far better, and certainly more in the American Horror Story mould as it's sort of improved. Despite negativity on Internet Movie Database in written reviews, as I said, the high scores have been reflected overall, so it pushes it up to the high 7s. And the episodes, I think, scoring 8s. I mean, the minimum of 8. I mean, this is what, just a little bit. I mean, some episodes are far better than other episodes. They're the later episodes, and I think episodically it should have been rated anywhere between 6 and 8 per episode. I think it's a bit over the top. There's some Hitchcockian style music and screen splits, etc., which is great. But again, early doors don't quite manage the drama on screen. But it does give the overall thing a good vibe, and it is, as I say, by the end of it, you are wanting more. So summing up, yeah, a little disjointed, but as the characters have progressed, including some that have now left us as you watch the thing, some of the characters who are the main sort of characters in this, as you'd expect in this sort of drama, of the boring ones have hopefully been killed off, and we get some interesting characters left, which is great. And it certainly has the potential to be somewhere near American Horror Story. I'm not going to say it's going to reach the heights. If you don't like American Horror Story, you possibly won't like this. And if you love American Horror Story, you may be disappointed. But I think this was getting up there by the end. So I do look forward to season 2, and hopefully beyond. As I say, there's a bit dubious whether this is a Ratched that we saw in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. But just forget that and just watch this for what it is. So my rating, my movie game nostalgia rating, overall I think the episodes would rate in between 6.5 and 8. I think if I had to rate the episodes, I'd be getting nearer the 8 towards the end. But overall, I'm just going to give it a 6.5 rating, because as I said, I think it's certainly more than watchable. And if I'd just rated perhaps the last 3 or 4 episodes, it would have been 7.5 out of 10. But I'm basing it on the whole thing overall. So yeah, I'm going to give it a healthy 6.5 out of 10 and look forward to season 2. Please, if you get to watch this, or you're going to watch it, or you've seen bits of it, as I say, please stick with it, because it's the sort of thing that perhaps if I hadn't been planning to do this review, I may have sort of put to one side after an episode or 2 and gone back to again. I think I did that with American Horror Story, believe it or not. I think I actually watched some and then put it to one side and then went back and watched it and really enjoyed it. So this would have been that as well if I wasn't going to binge watch it to do this review for myself and you, of course. So let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you for joining me for that. Please check my links on screen. You can follow or friend me on Facebook and Twitter, and I check every couple of days and follow and friend everyone back. If you're into football or know anyone who's into football who has an interest specifically in Manchester City, I do vlogs on that, so please check the late playlist as well. I do City past and present, so some history stuff and plus what's going on at the moment. And if you can check my little website, I'll be very much appreciated, moviegamenostalgia.com. For old rare DVDs, movie posters from the 90s and 2000s and board games on there. And if you can just have a look around, even if you don't buy anything, it's good for my little Google Analytics. So thank you very much. Anyway, thanks for watching this. Please, whatever you're going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your family. Let's all look after each other. And all I can ask you all to do until we meet again is please stay safe, everyone. Bird is saying goodbye for now. Thanks for watching.